Good morning. This is Norma Cowie. I have another movie review for you. And excuse my voice. I found out it's all the smoke that we have in our belly that every time I go out of it, of course, you breathe it in. And my voice is a little hoarse at times. Yesterday, I went to see the movie Snake Eyes. Now, that's part of the G.I. Joe series about, finding the G.I. Joe. So I have trouble with some of the pronunciation of some of the names. So I'm not going to talk too much about that. I'm going to talk about the stars, and I'm going to tell you the viewpoint of what I thought about it. Henry Golding plays Snake Eyes. Andrew, I don't know quite how to say the Japanese name, but I think it's Koji, plays Tommy Storm Shadow. And Haruka, Abe, as we would say it in English, but I think it's Abe in Japanese, Akito. I had seen the short of this watching the last movie I reviewed, and I thought, oh, this looks fascinating, because one of the things I do like is when they have the morals that show up very often in movies of this type. And I was looking forward to that. And definitely, if you want to talk about moral issues, about having an emotion that overtakes all sanity, then this is the movie to see. But it's an action movie, loads of action. But I have a preference, and this came up in the John Wick movies. I didn't mind all the guns showing in 1 and 2 at John Wick's. I had trouble with the knives, number 3. That's just a personal choice. But if you don't mind knives, if you don't mind swords, if you don't mind fighting, and the fighting is fine, but the knives and the swords, like a little bit of that. I don't know why. Maybe a past life. Who knows? But what I found was, of course, redemption at the end. But you wonder, it is high adventure. There is no doubt about it. My adrenaline was very high through the movie. And in that part, I enjoyed it. But I could only give it about a 3.5, a 4, sneaking into 4 out of 5. Only because my preference is not so many knives and swords. Great swordsmanship, great knife fighting, and some of the scenes in there of other actors in the fighting is just wonderful. And you have to admit, but it was the moral story I really wanted to see, and that was in spades. That was in spades for sure. But as I say, redemption at the end. And who doesn't want redemption? Who doesn't want to be reminded to play to the real code of life? Be in honor. There was a lot about honor and a lot about I have to mention, there's one scene where I literally put my hands up over my eyes and close them. So if that isn't excitement, what is? I mean, it was, that happened a couple of times actually. I thought in lots of ways it was really well done. And I actually ended up speaking to a friend that I had not realized had seen it before, and she really, really liked it. Maybe she just didn't mind all those knives and swords. It's actually, when I say knives, it was really swords. Lots of sword fighting with a little bit of guns, but mostly sword fighting. But it's a story about revenge. And if I'm splitting secrets here, forget it. I'm sorry. But it's about revenge and how revenge can make you forget honor, forget what your goal is, forget, and how you can get off the path and how you can find yourself way back on the path. And those of us who live by a path and know a path know what that means, because sometimes we do step off and then we go, oh, that's not what I'm about. So yes, if you want to go see an action-packed movie with piles of sword play, this is the movie for you. I wish you well at the movies.